Am I dumb? I need your help. I had a teacher teach me this exact fact in elementary school. I excitedly went home, told my parents, who calmly explained to me that it wasn't true, that teachers were not infallible and that they'd talk to her about it, and that I didn't worry about it. My mom did go talk to her about it, but she never came back to the whole class to tell everyone that she told us something wrong. She was probably embarrassed, or doubled down, and I was too shy to bring it up. So, I have to assume a large percentage of that class left third grade believing that. It's not impossible for me to imagine that some of them made it to adulthood without learning. Otherwise, we come into adulthood, and throughout our whole lives, with plenty of knowledge that is ultimately incorrect. What makes us who we are is how ready we are to accept that we were wrong and adapt our new knowledge. People have been taught in schools, for unfathomable reasons, and against all the readily available evidence, that blood is blue when it's in the body. You are not dumb for believing your teachers. Being misinformed doesn't equal being dumb. Our teachers told us a lot of fun facts that were just urban myths, and they also got super mad when a student corrected them. It's a widely held misconception, like the belief that slaves built the pyramids. 1. That microwaves resonate water molecules. 2. Or that July and August were added to the calendar to shove September, October, November, and December out of position as the 7th through 10th months. 3. If you have the time, I recommend a perusal of Wikipedia's list. Anatomy textbooks like to draw veins as blue and arteries as red, so they're easier to tell apart. And veins appear bluish under the skin. Blood does change color when oxygenated. Just the color changes from a deep, dark red to a bright, vibrant red. But that makes it easy for people to assume that the color change is blue to red. Blue blood is also a real thing when it comes to cephalopods, just not in mammals. So it's a very reasonable misconception to have, and a lot of people think that venous blood is blue. But at the end of the day, it is in fact wrong. 1. Slavery was practiced in ancient Egypt, but the pharaohs wanted the best for their tombs and employed a bunch of the finest craftsmen. 2. Water has several resonant frequencies, as it has several different ways it can vibrate. But these frequencies are up in the IR range. IR doesn't penetrate very well, and you likely already have an IR-based cooking device. A toaster, toaster oven, or conventional oven. Microwave ovens work by twisting polar molecules, and water happens to be an ubiquitous polar molecule. This twisting effect is why ice responds so minimally to microwave radiation. The molecules are held in a fixed orientation in the crystal structure of ice. It also explains why molecules other than water can be heated by a microwave. Though most foods consist of water and mostly nonpolar molecules. 3. The months Quintilis and Sextilis were renamed to July and August, rather than inserting new ones. The actual cause of Sept-Dec not being 7th-10th is that January and February were added. Previously there was just a big gap between years. But as that gap was organized, 2 new months were added. Some calendars put them at the end, while others put them at the beginning of the year. This is also why the second month of the year is the one with the weird number of days. It should have been the last month. It is also why the year starts at some random point in winter. It should start with a countdown to the spring equinox, which is a good reference point for a calendar that mostly got formed to help farmers track planting and harvesting seasons. Dumb would be if you, despite the evidence, would still believe it is true. This is just not knowing something. I believed it for years. You're not dumb. You're not dumb. That's a misconception a lot of people have. It stems from the fact that your veins look blue. And there's old misinformation that gets taught about deoxygenated blood turning blue. I'm just looking at the comments and marveling that so many folks were apparently explicitly told in school that blood is blue. I get thinking that blood is blue because veins look blue-green under the skin, but really? You aren't dumb. Urban legends and myths fool all of us at times. I am a retired middle school earth science teacher. One year I had a hall duty near the classroom of a life science teacher. With his door open I was able to overhear his lesson. And sure enough, he was dispensing the misinformation that blood is blue inside the body. Flushed. This occurred when he had been teaching in my district for nearly 2 decades. Blood is red from the hemoglobin inside of the cells. Oxygen also affects how red the blood is. It's always good to be learning. Unfortunately, where you learned this info failed you. But always be curious. Not dumb. If you were dumb, you wouldn't be asking if you were. You'd still be confidential, asserting that you were correct. A teacher once told us, conversationally, that Christians believed men had one less rib than women because of Adam and Eve, right? Teenage me, who never questioned it again, thought men and women did indeed have differing amounts of ribs. It wasn't until a few years ago that my wife told me that that was just a load of tosh. So, if you're an idiot, I am too. We have red blood as it is iron-based. Some things have blue blood that is copper-based. You're not dumb. You're misinformed. You would be dumb if you still didn't believe your boyfriend after all the evidence he provided. That you are wrong. I dunno. I got no clue. But I do want to say that I like your opener. My boyfriend, 27, M, and I, 26, F. Quote. C. Most Redditors will do, my, 26, F, boyfriend, 27, M, and I, and it's like, I get you want to start labeling your pronouns as soon as they come out of the oven. But let the rest of us get our bearings before you start splitting your infinitives. Yours is much easier on the eyes. Less algebraic gymnastics. A teacher might have told you that, but it's not ever actually taught to us with any credibility. Maybe someone got confused by a diagram. Maybe it's just the way veins appear to people beneath our skin. Maybe they worked with or saw a cadaver injected with a red or blue latex or some other material. Then they just made up these conclusions. Either way, don't be too hard on yourself. Urban myths and old wives' tales come to prominence for a reason. But as long as you listen and learn, you aren't dumb. They also taught us the food pyramid, and that taste buds are assigned to flavor profiles in certain areas of the tongue, which you can prove wrong by eating. If it was taught to you by a teacher, then it's not your fault. Sometimes even teachers get it wrong. You ain't dumb. Now go forth with your newfound knowledge and enjoy life. My wife, who I genuinely believe is pretty smart and capable, disputed me when I mentioned that penguins were birds. I was so surprised that I thought she was joking. My daughter had to back me up on that one for her to believe me. I am still gobsmacked. What did she think they were? Dolphins? Seals? Facepalm.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.